Chapter 3: The Islands West of Sumatra. Part 2: The Mentawei Islands. Economic life. Villages and houses. The villages are always situated on streams and at some distance island and, at some distant island and at some distance inland from the ocean, so as to assure a supply of fresh water for drinking and bathing. Formerly, the water courses were the chief means of communication between villages. Each village consists of one or more communal houses and the surrounding Loeb family houses. The and the surrounding family houses compose the Mentawai social, political and religious unit. Like the Bontok Igorot of the Philippines, the Mentawai village does not act as a unit. Each portion of the village has its own and each portion is spoken of as an Besides the and Laleb, there are houses for bachelors and widows in every village. These are called rusuk. While the and the Laleb have altars and sacrifices performed at the altars, the rusuk have none. In other respects, they are like the Laleb. All the houses of a village are built on piles as without windows and are approached by a ladder consisting of a notch pole. The villages are always surrounded by a log wall which is designed to keep the pigs and chickens within their proper confines. These animals before the days of Dutch hygienic measures usually were kept beneath the houses. The Kako is the oldest and largest village of the Pages. This village has for and a separate quarter for the Rusuk. Elevated log sidewalks serve as communication between the houses. The people of Taikako regard themselves as the rightful owners of the Pages, and those who wish to found the villages must first ask their consent. If the people of other villages wish to plant coconut trees, they likewise first must give presents to the natives in Taikako. When the inhabitants of Taikako are traveling, they have the right to take coconuts for the trees belonging to other villages. The village of Silauinan, the name means beside the river, is the youngest in the Pages. In 1908, the village of Taikako decided to oppose the Dutch. All the natives of the village did not agree to this action, and hence the village of Silaoinan was founded. Since the Rimata priest chief cannot be removed from office, those who disagree with these policies have to move. The communal house of Uma forms the center of Mentawai social life. The Rimata priest is the head of the or division of the village rather than of the village as a whole. The men sleep in the at the time of Punen religious festival rather than in their own homes. This is to prevent their having sexual intercourse at the time. In Siberut, the Rimata sleeps in the and the Page several families may find sleeping quarters there. In the daytime, the front porch of the is used mostly by men, and the rear by women and children. The first of Page differ in size, but they all have the same general plan. Both in front and in the rear, there is a ladder leading up to the main floor. A third, a spirit ladder leads up to the front porch. Although this ladder is called monkey ladder, it is intended for any of the wild animals hunted. During Punan, the spirits of these animals are invoked to enter the On the first floor of the there is a porch in the front and rear. The first and largest room of the is called Lai Bokat, or room to chatter in. This room contains the heart, the skulls of sacrificed animals, and along the sides are accommodations for the men who will sleep there in time of Punan. The center room is made in the form of a long hallway and, has loose boards on the ground. They are danced upon on festival occasions. It is in this room that the two main altars boulevard are situated. One of these altars is supposed to be male, the other female. Both sides of the center room are walled off, and on each side are living rooms left for private families who dwell in the Ummah. The rear room of the Ummah is called Bagat Ummah, or the interior of the Ummah. This opens off to the rear porch. The upper story of the Ummah Jaramba holds the utensils such as the hollow log drum and large net for turtle fishing, which belong to the community as a whole. The center post of the Ummah passes through the center of the dancing room. On this post, an altar is constructed, and upon the altar rests the Katsaila. That is, this is a bunch of leaves, including the sacred Dakena. During Punan, the souls of the people are recalled, and they come to rest on the Katsaila. The Toraija Aluma is a second sacred object. Is a second sacred object hung on the center pole. This is also called Punan and Batu Kerebau. The center post takes its name from the Batu Kerebau. This fetish includes sacred leaves, beads, and lead, all enclosed in a bamboo container. The Toraja strengthens the life source of the people of the Ummah and also the spirits of the Ummah, and ties the souls of the people to the Ummah. It may be hung either in the Ummah or in the house of the priest Rimata. The priest first offers to the Silimet the sacrificial food itself, then to the Katsaila, and finally to the Toraja Luima. In reply to the questioning of the Sikh, the responses of the Katsaila and the Toraja Luima must be in agreement. The family houses of Lalep are simple one-story pile houses containing a single room and porch. Above each is a garret in which fishing, hunting, and food utensils are stored. The Gusuk or backyard houses are, as stated, similar to the Lalep, only have no altars. For this reason, the young men who live in Gusuk with their street huts are not allowed to eat there. Before every meal, a portion of food must be offered at an altar to the spirits. Food. The seafood of Paris taro. The taro fields are cultivated by the women. The second most important food is bananas, and this food is cultivated by the men. In Seberut, sago furnishes the chief article of diet, but in Page it is used only as food for the chickens. The only rice plenty is that near the missionary station in North Page and in the two Christian villages. In respect to the absence of rice cultivation, the Mentawei Islands and Enggano differ from all other regions of western Indonesia. The people of Mentawei are unwilling to cultivate rice because in their long Punan periods they are unable to work in the fields, and rice requires constant attention. The natives like rice, and the natives like rice and buy it from the Malays at exorbitant prices before going on fishing trips, since it furnishes more nourishment per mass than taro or sago. As Squid has pointed out, the opportunity to cultivate rice is the chief motive which impels villages to turn Christian. The taro fields are laid under water in loose marshy earth, and the women go to their work in canoes. These fields are owned entirely by the women. It takes a year after the taro has been planted before it can be eaten, but once cultivated, taro field is permanent acquisition. The banana fields belong to the men. Some are worked by one or two families and others by an entire ummah. In preparing a field, underbrush is cleared off and a number of the trees felled. Fire, however, never is used in the clearing operation. Sugarcane and coconut trees likewise are cultivated in the banana fields. Many religious precautions have to be obeyed in the laying out of a new banana field, especially if it is to be communal property. If a tree falls, an earthquake is felt, or a snake is found, everyone has to go home. If a deer runs across the site, another deer must be killed and put in hell before work can be restarted. If a snake is found 3 times, the proposed site must be abandoned. Offerings must be made to the bush spirits every time that a tree is felled. Banana fields must be laid out anew every 4 or 5 years. They have definite boundaries set off by bamboos, and the Rimata has jurisdiction over cases of trespass. When such a field belongs to an entire Umma, the Rimata must initiate each undertaking connected with it. At its completion, some of the food is brought to the Umma, sprinkled with water, and laid upon the altar. Then a 5 month punan follows. A large portion of the food supply the people comes from hunting and fishing. The chest of deer and monkeys is always connected with the punan system, and the meat has to be divided equally among all the members of the Umma, and a portion sacrificed in the proper manner. The hunt is a communal affair participated in by all the men of the Umma, expectant fathers. Under the leadership of the Rimata, before the hunt the women bring in food from the fields, but during the time of the hunt they have to remain in the village. The hunt is conducted in daytime with aid of dogs and bow and poisoned arrows. When a deer or monkey is killed, there's applause aile to thank the bush spirits. The fortunate hunter, the dogs, and also the booty are decorated with flowers and leaves. If the prey be a monkey, if the prey be a monkey, it is carried back whole to the Uma, but if a deer, the animal is cut up on the spot, and the flesh bound in leaves so that it can be transported in baskets. The blood is placed in bamboos and later eaten by men and women. The gong now is sounded in the Uma, and all the men assemble. The Rimata enters with a peeled coconut and gathering the souls of the deer and monkeys which remain in the brush. One of the men meanwhile beats on a skin drum. The flesh is cooked, and the Rimata takes a piece of the heart and off the back for sacrifice on the altar. Then eating begins. The Rimata finally takes the decorations of the head of the animal and feeds it with coconut meat, praising calm spirit of the deer. This is done in order to ensure a plentiful supply of game by propitiating the slain animal. The skulls of slain monkeys, deer, and lacetators, even loud, are hung up in the Uma. The skulls of pigs are thrown away, but rooster skulls sometimes are suspended on the roof in order that the roosters may crow and scare away evil spirits. Sometimes during a punen, they may engage in a monkey chase. In this case, the monkey must be caught and not shot. The dogs chase the monkey up a tree. The men fall and shake the tree until the monkey tumbles down, is beaten by the hounds, and takes refuge in another tree. Finally, the animal is so exhausted from its fights and wounds that it no longer is able to rise from the ground. If the manner in which the monkey falls and the condition of its body are propitious, the animal is taken as prey to the Uma. Fishing is performed with nets, harpoons, hook and line, traps, bow and arrow, and fish poison. The women have a special caustic net, panu, with which they catch fish while standing waist deep in the water. The casting net is a Malay innovation. Men prefer to fish in the shallow water of the ocean with harpoon or bow and arrow. Both have detachable points. Fish are poisoned in the shallow ocean with the rods of the Deris elliptica. The catching of large sea turtles plays an important part in the Punan system. The jarik net in which turtles are caught resembles the Andaman turtle net. The net is open with floats attached to the upper portion and anchors to the lower. While the men are turtle fishing, the women and children at home are under severe taboos. They are not allowed to plant, get wood, or gather coconuts. They may not visit one another or borrow fire. Even the chickens are not allowed to set, for just as the young chicks emerge from the eggs, so will the turtle escape from the net. The fishermen are just as severely treated. They may not bathe, wash, or oil their hair. They may not become angry or even engage in conversation. They may sleep at night, but they must do so with one leg extended and one double up. All of these taboos have the double object of preventing the jarik from becoming loose from its anchors and the turtles from the net. When brought home, the turtle meat is divided equally among all the members of the Ummah, but it itself is not considered sacred as monkey meat, venison, pork or chicken, but may be served by strangers who are visiting the Ummah. The Pague Islanders have special mourns when they go in their large worship calabar to the inhabited islands and catch crabs. Frogs and eels are likewise eaten by all, but not during times of Punan. Frog hunting is done at night with the aid of torches. Crocodiles are very sacred in Pague and are called Titiu or ancestor. It is believed that an ancestor turned into a crocodile. The people of Siberut are said to eat the crocodile, but in Pague neither the flesh nor skin of the animal may be used for any purpose whatsoever. The crocodiles are thought to be servants of the Mother of Waters, and it is believed that they are sent to punish taboo breakers, as for example, people who throw refuse in the water. When a person has been bitten by a crocodile, a trap is made in order to catch one of the species. When this has been done, the carcass in the trap are thrown into the river so that no one further will be bitten by crocodiles. Then there is a two-month punans in which every member of the Ummah gives a pig or chicken, and the livers are sacrificed to the slaughtered crocodile. In former times, when a crocodile killed a man, Punan Lepa was held and a war expedition set out to obtain a human victim. The flesh of the python is eaten in Siberut, but not in Pague. The skin of the python as well as the hide is used in drum making. The people believe that snakes are immortal because they yearly shed their skins. In general, food is taboo in Mentawai if it is unfit to be offered in sacrifice. Women, children, and unmarried men are allowed to eat taboo food, but the spirits are considered averse to the practice. Squirrels, rats, moss land, and sea turtles and spoiled fish are taboo. The native will refuse all European food, such as beef, on the basis of this taboo, so there are no cattle on the islands. Dogs play an important part in Mentawai life. Although they are not food animals, there is no story to account for the way the people first obtained dogs. The Mentawai dogs are backless. They bear no names, excepting where the custom of naming dogs has been borrowed from the Malays. Dogs are neither bow nor sword, but they are land and a portion of the litter kept by the borrower. The killing of a dog is forbidden if one kills a dog in a fit of passion because the dog has bitten someone. At 3 months, punishment is held so that the ghost of the dog will no longer bite women and children. When a dog dies, its carcass is simply thrown into the wilderness. Cats are called mau and are said to have been introduced by the Malays. They are given away in friendship but never sold. Men, women, and children are inveterate smokers, the excess to which the Mentawai Islander carries this habit may be attributed to the fact that betel kiwi is unknown on the islands. No tobacco is grown in Mentawei, and the people are entirely dependent on the Malays for their supply. Tobacco is smoked in the form of cigarettes, and the coverings are obtained from the leaves of the nipa palm of the banana tree. The word to smoke is pot pot to suck. The islanders have as national the islanders have a national non-toxicating drink called jeruk. This is made of coconut milk, sugarcane sap, sliced bananas, and the meat of young coconuts. It is non-fermented. Yogurt is drunk at midday as a regular habit and also in the evening. It is not a sacred drink, but a few drops are always poured in on the god as libation prior to its being partaken of. It is always offered to guests as a token of hospitality. Once a stranger has partaken of yogurt with his host, he feels assured of his safety. Salt is obtained for the seawater. Little salt, however, appears to be used in the preparation of foods. Fire originally was made by boring into bamboo. The boring apparatus is called gugujut. No Malay flint and steel is used. The people are afraid of fire and will not use it to clear off the underbrush for a plantation. It is likewise forbidden to trample out of fire or to urinate into one. Fire has the power of driving away sickness, and the Sir Sikiri sways a glowing stick over his patient for this purpose. Cooking and water carrying are performed entirely in hollow bamboos, since the people has no pottery. Every fireplace has a supply of these bamboos handy, someplace besides the hearth, and the others above to dry. The meat, fish, or taro is placed inside the bamboo, which then is revolved above the fire to prevent burning. The result, however, it is unsatisfactory from the viewpoint of the foreigner, for the outside of the food is burnt and the inside remains raw. Clothing and adornment. As customary apparel, as customary apparel, men wear a tapa loin cloth made from the bark of the breadfruit tree. In times of punan, a yellow loin cloth is worn dyed with the juice of the curry berry. Anything else which men wear is decoration rather than clothing. Such decoration consists of bands of red colored cotton, glass beads, and imported brass rings on the arms, fingers, and toes. The men often wear flowers tucked in their hair. The clothing of the women likewise is simple. When they are at home in the village, they wear simply a strip of tapa, no usual imported cotton, around the lower portion of their bodies. When they go out, they wear waists and skirts made from banana leaves. Hats are worn of fern, palm leaf, or modern setup of banana leaf. The hair of both sexes is allowed to grow long. The men allow the hair to hang over the left ear, and tie it in a knot at the shoulder. It is decorated with many colored leaves, especially the cotton. The males keep themselves close shaved, and both sexes pull out the facial hair and eyebrows. This deformation of the face is trying to the eyes in the tropics due to the glare on the water. The most important decorations of the islanders, however, are the filled teeth and tattooing titi. The latter is done by the aid of two little sticks. On one of the sticks is a vertical needle. The stick is tapped on the other stick. Small pricks are made in the skin in this manner and the coloring manner, and the darkened sap of the sugar cane is inserted. A convex box is started on the chin and comes down to the shoulders. Lines also are made over the breast to the pit of the stomach. The hips, arms, legs, and fingers also are tattooed. The tattooing on the woman resembles that on the man, but is simpler in form. The tattooing on the upper legs of the man is always done just before marriage. The tattooing on the calf of the leg, the back of the hands, and the sides of the body is the final form of decoration and formerly was always done at the time of special punen lapa. This punen was held to wipe out the evil influence of blood spilled in the village as when someone was stabbed inside the village boundaries or killed by a crocodile. A special box was constructed in front of the Uma for the purpose of the tattooing so that blood would not fall on the ground. In the words of my informant, the blood that flowed from the tattooing was for the purpose of covering the blood of the dead man. False writes that every village of Siberut has its own pattern of tattooing. After a war expedition, the returning warriors were allowed to put the picture of the beheaded men on their bodies. While tattooing was compulsory under penalty of death, Creed claims that not every man had his teeth sharpened. Those who did not were mocked but were able to marry. I myself never saw nor heard of any man with unmutilated teeth. When a boy's milk teeth fall out, they are simply thrown away. But when the second teeth, but not the wisdom teeth, have arrived, they are sharpened before they become too hard. The sharpening is done with an iron file, and the teeth are given 3 points. There is no ceremony or taboos connected with this operation which unmarried men can perform. The Mentawei Islands has no form of circumcision whatsoever, and the tattooing and filling of teeth do not appear to be connected with an puberty ceremony, trade, and artifacts. The Mentawai Islands have no division of labor save between man and woman, married men, and the unmarried. There are no professions save that the sikiri is the word tukang, Polynesian tufunga, is a recent importation from the Malays, among whom it means one skilled in a craft. Since there are no craftsmen or special occupations, there is particularly in village trade. Each village, nay each uma or division of a village is self-sufficient. Still the word for trade exists pasaki and the word to buy saki. The Mentawaians have no money, however, and the only trade is that they carried on with the Malays. It is interesting to note the connection of these words with those having religious significance. Thus Panaki means to pray or to request a trade of favors for the spirits. In the same way, the noun Pasakiat now means the Malay marketplace, but the original meaning was the fetishistic place in the field to which sacrifices were made. In spite of the lack of inter-village trade, the Mentawai culture is parasitic to the Malay. From these studies, whom they call by the general term of foreigners Sosariu, Sasariu, Riu, Far, hence those who come from far the native obtain all the iron tools, such axes, knives, and chisels. In return, they give coconuts, rotten, and brass products. Without these utensils, the Mentawai could not build the elaborate houses and warboats in a reasonable length of time. It is not improbable, however, that in former days, when the natives still inhabited Siberut, they had but stone access. The word Siakap now means a dual axe, but it probably formerly made a stone axe. This never was any trade between the various islands, and the people of Bagat traveled to Siberut solely for the purpose of attending human sacrifice for their punen. The native weapon of the Mentawai Islander is the bow and arrow. All the varieties of knives and lances used are imported from the Malays. An exception must be made in the case of the Palit, a double-edged broad steel dagger contained in the sheath, which is native to Mentawai. The original form of the dagger, however, I mentioned in the myths, was made of sharpened bamboo. It often has been stated that the use of the bow is unusual in Western Indonesia. Heineken was mapped the distribution of this weapon in Indonesia. It is used as a war and hunting weapon in Formosa and the Philippines, in Mentawai, and in Eastern Indonesia. In Java, it is used for target practice. The Toraja of Celebes use the bow in ritual, but the word for bow, panah, is widespread in Western Indonesia. The weapon itself formerly was used by the Bataks in war, and now it is found widespread in Western Indonesia as a child toy. Therefore, I cannot agree that strict line of demarcation can be made, such as suggested by Platy, between Western and Eastern Indonesia, the former being the hum of the blowpipe, the latter of the bow. The bows of Mentawai have a length of about 4.5 feet and are made the black elastic wood of the salad palm, Arenga obtusifolia. The string consists wood of the salad palm, Arenga obtusifolia. The bows of Mentawai have a length of about 4.5 feet and are made of the black elastic wood of the salad palm, Arenga obtusifolia. The string consists of the bark leaf rib of the nipa palm, Nipa fructicanus. Is very light and hollowed in on the lower ends. The areas of the bamboo, the shaft of the hardwood of the nibong palm, Caryota uens, and are loosely attached. The arrow points are poisoned with the sap of the omai tree, Antiaris toxicaria, mixed with an extract from the roots of the tuba sap, Coccolus, tobacco, and Lombok capsicum. The poison is dried onto the arrow over a fire and is awaited for several days. The arrows are carried in a bamboo quiver decorated with bird designs. The birds are thought to have the power of sighting the prey. The word for bow is row, the string itek, the arrow case bukbung, and the arrows logui. The secondary grip is used in Mentawai. The Mentawai have two forms of boats, the double or rigger canoe abak, which is padded, and the large workboat calabar, which is rowed and which also is outfitted with sails. The latter boat is ordinarily used for the purpose of catching crabs and gathering coconuts in the small and uninhabited surrounding islands, but is capable of sailing to seaboard in fairly good weather. It has double outriggers, a rudder, a protecting roof, and two masts upon which the sails are attached. As measured by skies, it is 25 feet long, with the prow projecting 22 feet and the stern 18 feet, making a total length of 65 feet. Its greatest spread is 5 feet, and its depth 3 feet 8 inches. The canoes, which are used in the rivers and streams, but not in the open sea, are hollowed out for single trees. When a native travels in the interior, he carries a hollow bamboo container for his tobacco, flint and steel, mosquito netting, and an extra loincloth. This container he puts on his head when swimming rivers. The people also make use of a variety of baskets for carrying taro, chickens, and other objects. The women carry the taro home from the fields in special cotton baskets called opa, which are strapped to the shoulders. The utensils for eating are exceedingly primitive and consist of coconut shells and wooden tools, lulak. The natives always pour water over the hands before seizing the food out of the family too. The musical instruments consist of gongs, bells, mouth flutes, skin drums, hollow log drums, and wooden xylophones. The gongs are said by mass to have been imported by the Chinese and by Crete by the Buginese. The gongs and the three drums tudukat are kept in the upper garret of the Uma and are struck by the Rimata as a summons to a sacrificial meal or when a deer is sighted. The skin drums katuba are made from hollowed out sugar palms with deer or python skin at one end. They are the only instrument used in Punan at the time of dancing. Small hand bells are used by the priests and seers in sacrificing and performing works of magic. The word for magic is in fact nunang from nang nang to tinkle bell. The bells are of course imported. The mud flutes pipian are played for pleasure in the fields. They are not used for cutting. There are actually two kinds of xylophones in Page, a large and small variety. The loud drums to do cut are really xylophones, since they consist of three logs of different size struck with a stick. The small variety also are called tudukat, but they are small enough to be held on the lap. They are played in the fields of amusement. In Siberut, the log drums likewise are xylophones, and three varying sized logs have the same names as in Page, father, mother, and child. Wilkes writes that there is an actual language for these drums as in West Africa. The drums are kept in the Uma and usually are beaten by the Rimata. According to the manner in which a drum is beaten, the people are informed when one of the following events occurs: an old man dies, an old woman dies, a child is born, an enemy is killed, a house is on fire, a male ape is killed, a female ape is killed, a bow is shot, a deer is shot. War. There are three causes for war in Mentawei. 1. Blood revenge. 2. The building of an Uma. 3. The holding of Punan Lepa after blood has been spilled in the village or a crocodile has killed someone. In Page, blood revenge is called Luinun. If a man kills another in fight, the relatives will seek blood revenge. If a man kills another for wrongdoing, however, such as adultery, the relatives of the murdered man are not allowed blood revenge. Wars also are fought when the human sacrifice is needed for a new Uma or for Punen Lepa. In Siberut, the head of an enemy is obtained as well as the arms and legs. Riggs writes that the flesh of these members is eaten. The head is placed under the center post of the new Uma. Crete writes that the people of Sipora take the head, but not the members, but which claims that they are contented with the death of the enemy. It is certain that the people of Bergen never took heads. Some years ago, when they still were in the habit of going to Sipora or Siberut on war expeditions, they conducted the affair in the following manner. They first lay in ambush and shot at those who went fishing. The Stali Uma was neither bound or attacked. If the warriors succeeded in killing one or more of the enemy, they hacked their bodies and decorated their own heads with plants and flowers. If not, they shot the arrows into the brush and went home. Instead of a head, the sacred flowers and leaves are placed under the center post of the new Uma to appease the earthquake god. Head taking is, or was, very important in Siberia, and there are many taboos connected to the drum, with the custom. The women at home have to remain quiet and cannot cook. They spend their nights in the Uma. They abstain from the fruits and certain fish. If they disobey these injunctions, the men will come to harm. When the warriors return with their trophies, they utter a war whoop at the mouth of the river. The parts are hung up in the Uma for 2 days while the warriors dance around them. Then the parts are buried and the heads hung up in the bushes. The Sikhs waft the ghosts of the slain away with the sacred leaves, and the taboo period of 2 months follows. It is very good when two parts make peace with one another. The rimata of one side smears the head of the former style rimata with the oil, and the action is reciprocated. Prayers are said at the time calendar. The year is divided into 12 months. The beginning of the year is in June and is ascertained from the position of the Pleiades. This is crab season. At each of the 4 months of crab season are gone, is there from the variety crab caught in the month. The next 2 months, October and November, are thought to bring bad water, to bring bad weather. The next 4 months are called Rura for the mem of the prevailing southwest wind. They then come 2 more months of supposedly stormy weather.